Morty's in the mood, look out.
This could turn out to be one of the cleanest shows ever aired on hometown cable. We're on Margaret Street in Plattsburgh to talk to the Racines. Now you look at these two Racines and see if you can tell which one is older.
It's my brother.
Roland, how are you?
Very
Great
well,
to
thank you.
see you. Michael, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Pleasure to see you here, too.
Great to see you. Great to see anybody at my age.
Yeah.
This all started a long time ago when my daughter-in-law Leslie and son Greg gave me a little card with a car wash on it, and so much car washes. Go down to Margaret Street to the brand new Washland car wash and get your car washed. And I came here. Michael's wife came running out to greet me like I was the only customer she'd had all day.
Isabel, yes, with her strong Venezuelan accent.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful
love her.
lady. And Michael has come running out and greeted me several times, and we chatted, and we thought, boy, wouldn't it be a great idea if we can come up here and chat with the Racines and get a little bit of history, because a lot of the history of things that have been going on here in Plattsburgh and Champlain and all around the North Country centered right around this Racine name. We came in here today and Calvin brought his 2,000 copy of the Champlain history book with all the family pictures, and guess who's been going through it here? Isn't it neat?
When I get home, I have my nose in that book for hours.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Even I love to look through it for families I've never even heard of, to realize how they're connected with everything. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, it's the first time I saw the picture, and I see a picture of him in there, probably around 14 or maybe 12. And there's a lot of resemblance to some nieces and nephews, and similar to a picture of myself when I was his age. You don't get to see a lot of pictures of him as a young man.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about dancing. Hopefully we won't do any of it, but we're
You
gonna
can do that. My dad can teach you to ballroom dance.
Oh, he really could too. We're going to talk about dancing. We're going to talk about being a young entrepreneur with dreams and what it takes to make those dreams come true. We've heard the phrase blood, sweat, and tears.
Sure.
And there might be all of those factors
I
involved
think so.
in your success in this community. And it's not something that somebody hands to you, Michael, is it?
No, it's a lot of hard work and never giving up.
We're going to start from the very beginning and get a great story, I think, on Hometown Cable today, so stay tuned. Oh, we've had an awful lot of fun talking while the camera was stopped, and now if we can recreate a little bit of that.
Yeah.
We're recording this on the 22nd day of January 2008, and in today's Press Republican, as we're recording this, was a wonderful article because we're working up to a fever pitch in 2009 for the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Samuel de Champlain through this area. And thanks to a lot of people getting together, including our friend Julie at the Northern New York Canadian Genealogical Society based in Keysville, a lot of the local families have been traced back to the Champlain era. And guess who goes back that far, just about? The Racines. You said back to
38.
1638,
Mm-hmm.
and several brothers.
8 brothers. Eight boys and 7 girls.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm number 13.
In your family, but I mean the family that goes back to the 1600s. How many Racines came over?
It was 4
About
brothers.
2,000.
brothers?
Was there 4 brothers that traveled on ship to settle in France?
No, it was a single family.
Single family?
A man and his wife.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? And it all came from there, huh?
Yeah.
And this wonderful book, The Town of Champlain 2000, that we've shown on camera a number of times, includes a section on the Racine family. Calvin can freeze this on the screen and we can talk about it for just a moment. Very interesting Racine history. And there's a little guy down there on the left side who might recognize himself. You haven't changed a bit. How old were you, 12 in that picture?
About that.
Isn't that terrific? So you were born where?
Champlain at the farm.
Right,
Farmhouse.
right on the farm, in the farmhouse.
And I stayed on the farm till I was 25.
Did you really?
And I
Working
went-
on the
I
farm?
went to the Army in Germany.
Where was the farm located in
It
Champlain?
was, they call it the Paris Mill Road. No, not the Paris, I take it back.
It's still there. I've been to it a few
Is
times.
it? The house is still there too?
Yeah, big long
Come on.
road.
Yeah.
No
big farm,
kidding.
yeah.
Nice big brick house, about 7 bedrooms.
Well, you needed it because you had how many kids did you say in your family when
We
you?
were 15, but three of them died young.
Yeah. Well, you had big families. You had to have a lot of kids to help you on the farm,
So
right?
that's what my father liked.
Oh boy. So you went in the service. You were in the Second World War.
No, I was after that. I was in 1952.
You did. And then where? Where'd you go?
I went from Fort Dix, New Jersey to Bremerhaven, Germany. Not Bremerhaven, but that's where we landed. Went by ship, over 13 days on ship.
Oh boy. Can you imagine
Wow.
when you can fly
Yeah,
across the country
yeah.
now in a few
Yeah,
hours?
Yeah.
I was stationed in Bamberg, Germany. And in the meantime, we had 130 of us got tonsillitis on the boat.
Oh, come
When we
on.
got there, and they had nice fancy barracks where we all had to sleep outside in the tent because we all had that tonsillitis.
Isn't that
We
amazing?
had to take pills. Every 4 hours, we take 4 or 6 pills.
So you were in the Army for 2 years
2 years, yeah.
and always in Germany?
Yeah,
Then came back here.
yeah.
And were you married by then?
No,
What happened? What'd you do for a living when you came back home?
I was looking for a job, couldn't get any, so I started my own business in a little Esso gas station where the Kennedy Bridge is now.
A little gas station.
A little Esso gas station.
Was it called Racine's?
Yeah,
Of course it was. Right where the Kennedy Bridge is.
right.
And ran that for how long?
Oh, I ran that for 2 or 3 years, and we were doing so well, they built a new one on the corner of North Catherine and Broad Street, where my brother-in-law, Lee, and I were partners. And I was in there until 1962. 1962, I bought the old Cadillac garage on Peru Street. I got a franchise with Shell Oil.
Little real estate investment.
You love it. No kidding.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then I started selling cars and fixing cars.
Somewhere along the way you got married, right?
Yeah,
1950.
I got married in
Six.
1956.
That was a good year. My brother got married in 1956. Yeah, that was a good
Still
year.
married? That's like wonderful.
After all these years.
Sure.
I was born in 1929. So another year and 4 months, I should be hitting the big 80.
Oh, baby, we'll have a celebration
Oh, I
for
sure
you.
will.
They'll be dancing.
I sure will.
What year did Mom start the dance school?
She started in 1950.
When
Now,
she
what was her maiden name?
Langlois.
Well, that's why it's Langlois Racine.
Patricia
Make-
Langlois. that's
Makes
right.
perfect sense to me, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
She
So
was at-
she started the dance school.
And then we were on a vacation in Bermuda, and Arthur Murray's were taking people in to dance, just to show them how demonstration. And we took a few lessons when we were there. We enjoyed it. So when we came back home, we went to Montreal for 5, 6 years. We got our degree in
Silver medal.
ballroom dancing. My wife has a silver medal, and I have a bronze medal.
No
I'm
kidding.
way further past that now, but we didn't go back.
You know, with all the dancing on television and Dancing with the Stars and
Yeah.
all this stuff, it's ballroom dancing is huge now. But it never really went anywhere with you, did it?
No.
It was a big success here, and so that studio's been going for how long?
Since 1950.
Come on.
Yeah, my mom
Same
was-
teacher, same people.
She started. Her dad dug out the basement of 49 Elm Street, where she grew up in the house. He hand dug the entire basement to build a dance school for her, and I think she started.
Isn't that hand dug the
Hand dug,
entire basement?
George Langlois? A lot of people
It's
still
still
remember
there,
it.
that little studio my sister-in-law is using it, Nancy Gerace.
Wow.
So that was the start. She owned her own business, and my dad owned his own business. I think it was the footprint for us becoming entrepreneurs in the family.
My wife and I have been dancing ballroom for 48 years at least.
No
We've been
kidding.
teaching, we've taught thousands of people.
Thousands and thousands. I don't know if you've ever even added it up, have you?
Oh, never did, no.
No. But the classes are still going on.
Oh, there still are. We have 4 classes a week.
He's still teaching ballroom. They still teach on a regular basis.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, they're
Don't
very
you
good.
love
I
it?
love the tango. I love the waltz. I love them all.
Do you feel good?
Oh, terrific.
The dancing kind of keeps you healthy because I know you've had a couple of physical problems, right?
Yeah, I have cancer of the prostate, and I went to New York for 3 months. They gave me radiation. I came back free. Now it seems to be coming back again, but I'm gonna beat it.
You're gonna beat it. You gotta be around. You gotta be dancing at least another 20 years, right?
Sure.
And I come down with Parkinson's, and I don't bother me. I take my pills, I'm all right.
For 10 years, he's had Parkinson's, and many people don't even realize it. But
Isn't it amazing?
I attribute it to his dancing. 4 nights a week, they're out dancing and working and working. And
How can you not? Now with
Yeah.
what we know about regular exercise,
That's true.
and is there any better regular exercise? Look at the man, he doesn't
Oh,
have an
yeah.
ounce of fat on his bones.
he's running every day.
I eat the right food, and I don't eat too much. And I
Oh,
don't have
that's-
that much of an appetite. I have good appetite, but not a big eater.
What
My
a
mom is
wonderful story.
My mom's a wonderful cook, though. She loves to cook. She's always cooking nutrition food. She makes sure that he's has his fruits, his vegetables, his vitamins, and she feeds him good food. So that's helping him stay strong.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So how many kids in the family besides Michael here?
There's 5 children
5?
total.
Boys, girls, what's the
They-
mix?
2
3
boys and 3 girls.
They had they built a one boy or a girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. And
Come
all
on.
the girls are 4 years
Just
apart.
like that?
Just like that. The girls are 4 years apart, and the 2 boys are 4 years apart. I think they had a formula on a
There was a
calendar or
plan.
something.
There was
Yeah.
a plan, right, Roland?
They're engineering the
We had
family.
the same thing in my family, except for the first 3 were boys. After that, it was a boy, girl, all the way through.
I love it.
They're not prejudiced.
I love it. Are they all around here?
4 of us. The youngest one, my sister Julie, is a year younger than me. She lives
works
in Atlanta, Georgia. She works for the CDC, Center for Disease Control.
Wow.
She worked for the state.
And she's also with her husband opening up a new business. So maybe a year ago, he's a land survey, and they're opening their own land surveying company. So I sense it's in the blood, since every one of us own our own business today.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So 4 are still around here.
4 of us are here, yes. There's my oldest sister, Anne Marie. I don't want to say when she was born, that wouldn't be fair, but she's been teaching dancing for 33 years maybe.
Really?
The Langley's Dance School. She started with my mom when she was young.
Rabideau.
Yep, Anne Marie
Oh.
Racine Rabideau, that's correct.
Oh,
Married
yeah.
to Jacques Rabideau. And then my brother James, married to Sherry Webster, Dr. Webster's daughter. And he owns Integrity RV and Towing Company
Oh, yeah.
in Beekman Town. Then the next one would be my sister Barbara. She's a partnership with my sister Ann. It's Barbara Racine Hammond. And she teaches dancing with my sister Ann in Plattsburgh and surrounding towns like Malone. Then there's myself, Michael, and my sister Julie.
What a
We're a
team.
busy family.
What a wonderful family.
Nieces, nephews, a lot of them.
So you got a lot of things built in. They say it's in the genes. Well, a lot of it's in the genes. Certainly the idea that you can have a dream and that you could pursue it, that's the great thing about this great nation of ours. You can have a dream and go after it.
Sure can.
As long as you have the energy
That's right.
and live in a community that allows it to happen. And we live in a pretty darn good
Sure
community
do.
here.
We're lucky.
So where did you go to school as a youngster?
Started at St. Peter's School, just around the corner from my mom's house, until 8th grade. 3 years I went to MAI, which is now Seton. And my senior year I decided to try the public school system and visit some friends that I knew from the city, and I graduated from Plattsburgh High School in 1982. And then I went to Plattsburgh State for 3 years. Didn't finish my degree because I started in really studying real estate, and I ended up going to school for real estate to get a real estate license. Continued the education with that to get a real estate broker's license. And real estate was really my drive, and Plattsburgh State just didn't have a program to help me in that field. So I think the real estate school was probably the best thing for me at the time. It was an interest that I had, and it helped me learn a lot about real estate so I could do future investments in it.
And you've dabbled in it ever since.
Yes.
More than dabbled most of the time.
Thank God I had my dad always pushing me and giving me the drive to do things, because at 19, actually I think I was 18 when I went under contract, I purchased my first house right across the street in Margaret Street.
You
And
gotta
I
be
was so
kidding.
nervous to buy that house.
Does anybody do that at that age?
I haven't heard too many, but
Wow.
I was 19 and my payment was going to be $233 a month, and I was so nervous I couldn't sleep for a week. And I said, how am I going to make the payments? I don't know how I'm going to do it. And back then the house was for sale for probably 6 months. There had been offers, and real estate always increases in value. So back then the value of the house was $22,000, which was really the same price as a 1984 Corvette back then.
That's a good
You know?
comparison.
But real estate will always increase, and as Dad convinced me, he said, you can do it, you'll find a way. And after I made the investment, we spent time fixing it up, making it nicer so we could rent it out, and it was a good investment, a good start.
He was too young to buy the house, so I had to put it in our boat name until he got 18 or 19.
Yeah, I was working as a waiter, I think, at Carver's restaurant.
Were you really?
My
You
income wasn't
probably
quite enough
served
to
me some of
qualify.
those weird sandwiches that
Yeah,
they had
I
at
think so,
Carver's.
yeah. I worked in the river room side because the parade was a little bit too out of control for me, so
Oh
but
boy.
it was a nice experience as a waiter too.
Isn't that great?
How you started fixing old cars.
Yeah.
Oh, you worked on cars? Didn't we all work on old cars at one time or another?
You wonder where your passion comes for things in life, and in my passion, it has to be cars, my biggest passion. And
How can you not be with this guy sitting over here?
he started your business in what year? Your auto sales?
1962.
62. So soon after that, the muscle car era came.
Of course.
And location was right across from the air base. And I would grow up and I'd see these cars with big numbers on the side of them and say Hemi or a big Cobra snake or Shelby. And I didn't know what they were, but there's still a vision of it. I remember that snake on the side of that car, and many cars that he had. And today those cars are $150,000, $200,000 cars that he probably sold for $2,500. But being located across from the air base, he would get these cars in on trade. Someone would be coming in town, or they'd have to leave TDY and he'd get the car on trade. Another guy would come in and buy it a week later, and he'd constantly be selling muscle cars that, I was too young, I didn't realize it. And eventually, I think it was just inbred in me that that's a wonderful hobby now.
So you started to do it? Do you own
Yeah.
quite a few cars now or not?
Oh yeah, I have quite a few cars. I have a number of cars. Let me start back a little bit my first car, I was probably 14, and my dad convinced me, he said, you need to invest in a car. So I saved up enough money, $50, and I bought a 1967 red Volkswagen Bug.
I love it.
That's what the car was worth.
Oh boy.
He taught me, I brought it down to the lot, and we cleaned it up. I remember cleaning it inside, outside, detailing it, and making sure everything was mechanically sound, and Dad was a wonderful mechanic, so he would teach me how to work on them. And I put it on the lot, and within a week I sold it for $100, and I couldn't believe it. I was 14.
Wow, 100% profit.
That was a nice
All
investment.
right.
So that was what got me hooked right there. I said, this is good. I like this. I'm gonna do this again. And I kept continuously investing. I bought another one for the $100 and bought a car and sold it for $200 or $250. I remember one of my first real cars that I was old enough to drive when I was 16 was a Ford Maverick. You don't see them anymore, and you probably don't.
No, you don't see them
You don't
anymore.
want to.
No.
Although I was in Venezuela with my wife, and they're all over the place. It's like the Volkswagen; they have the rights to remanufacture and build it. So you could see a.
That's like the Toyotas in Mexico, everywhere.
You could see one down there, and you think it's like a '74, but it's probably a '97 because they're still manufacturing them, and there's a lot of them. But that was a fun car. We bought it for $200 and painted it, and Dad showed me everything to fix it up, and I more than doubled the money on that one. It was a nice investment. So soon after that, I knew that cars were going to be in my life. I was at Plattsburgh State, and I actually took out student loans at Plattsburgh State to invest in cars to put on his lot
Come on.
when I was in school, and I would use
Can
the
you
money.
believe this story?
The money that I made with the student loan money was amazing. But the entrepreneur,
I'm sure they'd
it
love
was-
to hear that today.
He taught me how to do this. So
Student loans for cars.
it was an educational process in one way or another. It was a certain education to learn how to build a business. So that the student loan money helped me continue to reinvest into more cars until the point where I had enough money saved up to buy the first house across the street with the cars from the years in college. So I ended up living in the student housing that I built. I built it into a student housing with the college kids, and took the money from the college housing to buy another apartment house. So it kind of never stopped. And you asked the question how many cars I have. I think I have about 11 collector cars. Just over the years, I would find one that I liked, that I have a passion for, and fix it up and drive it on the nice days. And then the passion continued. And I love cars, and I have to continue the trend that my dad started. And I have the little auto sales on Boynton Avenue, Autoland. And there we probably have 7 or 10 cars on a good day. And it's more of a hobby, but it's a passion. I just want to fix
You
nice
run it
cars.
all by yourself?
Yeah, it's a strange situation. I'm not there 24 hours because I'm here at the car wash, but I'm 10 steps away, so people will see a car they like and I run over and show it to them.
Oh my goodness.
But it's about customer service. If I can't be there right away to treat the customer, to invite them and talk to them, and it's about at least making a good communications with them anytime there's a problem, making sure you fix it and building a reputation slowly. And I've got many customers that come back, and a lot of times people will buy a car there that you don't even see on the lot. They say, go find me a 2003
Whatever,
Ford
yeah.
Taurus in this color, and I'll go find it for them. So it's a passion, it's a hobby, and it's something that's in my blood that I can't get rid of.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
If you can't follow your passions, you're not going to have a happy life.
That's true.
But you've had so
Life is
many
short.
things that you've been passionate about,
That's
both
true.
of you guys.
Sure.
And isn't it wonderful when you have the opportunity and you don't have to file it away somewhere where you can
Yeah.
stick with it? You love the real estate.
That's true.
You love the car business. Name some of the cars now, just to make us drool here.
Oh,
What do
my
you got?
favorite car was actually when I was building this car wash. It was getting a little overindulged in my expenses there. I almost sold it at Barrett Jackson. They had it for sale, not this year, last year at Barrett Jackson in Florida. And the last minute I pulled it out. I couldn't give it up. I found another way to find the money because it's a '69 Camaro Rally Sport Z28 with 16,000 original miles.
Come on!
One identical to this sold the year before for 250,000. There's a lot of documentation. I think that's awfully high, and even Barrett Jackson said that's high.
Watch those auctions on TV.
Oh, I spent the whole last week watching every day, recorded it on my DVR. It's the most exciting thing for me.
Eat your heart out.
Yeah,
man.
and that's one of my favorite cars. It's not worth anywhere near that price, but it's a very valuable car. I had my grandmother's first car that she bought from my dad in 1965. It's a '65 Galaxy 500, big 390 engine. That one's nice.
Oh yeah.
We have a '72 Le Mans convertible sport with the GTO options. '84 Mustang GT 350 anniversary car that has like 30,000 miles.
That's
very,
nice.
very rare. There's
Nice.
550 of those made.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought another little red Volkswagen, a '68.
Oh, you had to buy another one?
Yeah, that's got to be in part of my collection because that was the start of everything, I think, there.
Oh, sure.
I used to sell new Volkswagen for Seaway Motor
Oh, did you
in
really?
Racine. And when Celeste Motors came in here, Worldwide Motor from New York wrote me a letter that I couldn't sell new cars in Volkswagen anymore. I kept on telling them, another time they send me a letter, say, look, you got 30 days, take that sign out of there, or else we'll take you to court. I left it there. I got another letter that said this is it. So I took the sign off and I sold used ones.
So you hung in there as long as you're good with the new Volkswagens, huh?
Yeah.
That's a great
I was getting
story.
$25 to sell a brand new Volkswagen, but I made my money on taking the trade-in.
Yeah.
They didn't want the trade-in.
Isn't that amazing? What a great
Sure.
business. And you know, where Calvin and I have always had a great interest in cars. Who hasn't, who's lived around the North Country
Sure.
or almost anywhere else?
What's your favorite car?
Oh, you know,
Do you have one?
I don't know. I love all kinds of cars. I had a '67 GTO.
Oh, nice.
That was really sweet. Brought it right out of the showroom at JB Todd's,
Wow.
located next to the radio station where I worked.
Right.
I saved enough money to buy a house, and I couldn't get a loan from any of the banks.
Wow.
Radio announcers are not notoriously high paid, you know.
Sure.
And so I took the money I had saved, I went over and said, see that car that just came in today? Have it
Oh,
ready
wow.
by 5 o'clock tonight.
That's great.
Hardtop convertible.
What color?
It was kind of a copper.
Yeah. It was convertible or hardtop?
Hardtop.
And then hardtop with the vinyl top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are sharp.
Nice vehicle. And unfortunately, there was a divorce that happened at
Yeah,
that
like
time,
it's
and the
expensive.
car went with the divorce,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was the last I saw of the famous GTO.
They're still out there if you want one.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
So where do you keep your cars? You got a big barn somewhere, or?
Actually, for security, I put them in different garages.
Oh,
At
do
the
you?
apartment
That's a
rentals,
great
there's different
idea.
garages, so I keep
Yeah.
2 here and 2 over there. And too many people I've heard in the past that there was a fire or something and they lose their
Yeah.
whole collection.
Oh yeah, isn't that
And-
sad
and
when
it-
that happens?
You know, you become emotionally attached to these big hunks of metal that you have a lot of pride and a lot of fun working and fixing them up. And if you lose one or two, it's not like losing 7 or 10. So,
Have you ever been to the big international car show in Montreal?
I've been to the car show there. I've been to the car shows in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I've been to Barrett-Jackson shows in Florida. Been to RM auctions. We flew out, my wife and I, to California, and I've been to some big shows over there. I got a nice invitation with Jay Leno. I got to meet with him.
Did you
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
And everybody
yeah.
knows what a tremendous
Oh, yeah.
antique car buff he is.
Sure
He's
is.
got some cars
Oh, yeah.
that would make your tongue hang right down to the roadway.
Yeah, we saw him in Monterey, California at a car show there, and it was very, very fun to talk to him.
It's great. Calvin and I and Dr. John Southwick probably will be heading for Montreal tomorrow as we're recording this on the 22nd to go to the auto show. And when we're there, we normally do a couple of these 90-minute shows.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you love cars, all the
Yeah, I think
latest and the
he has a
greatest.
collection of cars, Dr.
Oh,
Southwick.
John's been buying and
Yeah.
selling used
Yeah.
cars and has
Yeah.
stories about bringing used car parts across the border and arguing with,
Oh, sure.
with border people and so on.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Cars are great.
Sure.
So you had this entrepreneurship built right into your blood.
Sure.
And so you buy your first house,
Right.
then you started buying and selling cars. What happened
Yeah.
after that?
Well, cars have always been a part of my life, and it's just, and they always will be. It's that passion, and take them, fix them up, and if you find the right people to buy them, you take care of them people too, so they come back. But so there was always a few car investments. At 19, when I bought the first apartment house, I was living there. It was a very strange situation, and I knew how to fix up something old, like the house or the cars, and make it new. And I remember walking down the street to the laundromat. It was Conroy's Laundromat. It was one of the first laundromats in the country,
Oh, yeah.
1957
I
or
was
something.
wondering as I was driving here
Yeah.
when car washes, because when I was a kid there were no car washes.
No?
So that was one of the first in the country? What year?
Well, that was a laundromat. That was 1957.
Oh,
The car
laundromat.
washes probably came out in the 60s. I would
Really?
Some of the early car washes.
Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine. I went down there and I was living in the house. It was a 5-bedroom house with students, and the laundromat was really rough shape, really embarrassing. The machines had holes the size of the machine, like 30 inches holes, rusted from wearing against each other, and the building was really, really, really rough shape. And I just somehow I ended up I'm going to buy 2 machines for myself, a coin-operated washer and dryer, and put it in the student rental. And it actually started to make a little bit of money. I was like, this is interesting. I didn't
wow.
think it would even cover the water and sewer bill. So I walked back down the street one day and met the owner, and I said, if you ever want to sell this place, let me know. I think it was Ann Conroy. That was 1987. I was probably 23. And within 6 months, she wanted to sell, and the actual lady that owned the property, Lillian Henry, wanted to sell the property too. So I was getting creative at that time. I was in real estate, and I figured out how to create a deal where I could make the package work. So I bought a laundromat not even knowing how to wash clothes. To this day, I don't tell anybody how to wash their clothes. I don't tell them
Oh,
because
that's
I
wonderful.
may
You put the
ruin it.
quarter in here.
That's all I know. You put the quarter in here, that's the part I understand really well. So that became a project with my dad's help after we fixed it up and made it really nice. He gave me a lot of creative ideas to make it presentable. And then unfortunately back in 1996 around, it had a fire, a huge electrical fire behind the dryers. And it was an old building. There was 3 roofs on the building from projects before I owned it. And the fire was total destruction. So we ended up building something new there. So the new laundromat at that time, we changed the name from Racine's Laundromat to Washland. So I wanted to come up with a name because the dream was to someday have a car wash and have a name that would work for both names.
So you were thinking of car wash even back then?
Yeah, I wanted a car wash since I was 16. I would go to car
Come
washes,
on.
and I felt like, and I would go to car washes in other areas, and I'm like, I want something different. I want something new. I want something modern. I want something, and I just kept dreaming of how I would build a car wash before even the laundromat came into my vision, I guess. So the laundromat just was there, and I built the business, and after the fire, we continued to build it to a new one with a new image. And it turned out well. We put apartments on top, and It was written up in a trade journal in 1997 as one of the nicest laundromats in the country. We won an award for that.
And where's that located?
It's on 10 Weed Street.
10 Weed Street.
Right
So
across
that's-
the street here. Right
Yeah,
across
not far from where we are. And what's this address?
This is 310 Margaret
310
Street.
Margaret Street. That's where we are.
This was formerly the L&M Motel property.
Oh, how well we
owned by
all
the Carpenters.
How well we all remember those days. We don't have to recount all those memories.
I remember that too, because I was living directly across the street, and I could see a lot of things happening over
Oh,
here.
my.
Seemed like quite a place to celebrate.
It certainly was.
You
quite
know,
a
we
place.
talk about cars, but I had a hobby. Cars weren't fast enough. I bought an airplane, 1980.
Come on. Did you take lessons?
52. I got my license and I flew it. I totaled it.
How'd you get your license?
I up here.
No, you didn't go to school for that. I
No,
remember
I
him
learned on my own.
studying before he went to take the test. He'd study for months and months, teaching himself.
Then I totaled that airplane in Batavia, New York. So I came home on the bus. I felt like crying, but it didn't do any good.
Where were you? How did you total it?
I wasn't experienced enough. I had just got my license. I thought I'd go visit my friend in Batavia, New York. And I took him up for a ride. I come back to Lane, and it was a crosswind. So I was going to go around. When I was going around, I wasn't going fast enough to keep it flying. So the car, it just got, good thing I was only about 10 feet off the ground. He totaled the plane.
Oh.
He told me he was coming in for a landing, and he wasn't quite experienced enough
I
to
wasn't
realize
quite sure, so I was going to go around.
he had full flaps on, and he decided to take the flaps off to think it'd give him more thrust to take off. But that flaps was holding the plane that was giving him lift, and as soon as he took the flaps off, it crashed.
So I
You
got
walked
myself
away
another
from
one. I got a 172 4-passenger.
Oh, you did? You got another one?
Another one.
Get back on the horse and ride, huh?
Sure did. Yeah,
That's
I
what
flew many
that
times
old
with that.
colonel, what's his name, Nunn, told me. He says, look, you don't want to quit. I was so mad I wasn't going to fly anymore. He says, no, it's a good thing he talked me into it.
So you got another plane.
I got another plane. I kept it for 10 years and I sold it.
That was the
I
end
came
of that.
down with Parkinson. I quit. I had to get a physical every month, every year rather. And too much of a problem. I was tired of it. I sold it.
So you still put quite a few hours in on it though,
Oh.
right?
I put about 700 hours on it
Did you really?
in the air.
What's the longest trip you ever took with it?
I went to Boston. I went to Buffalo. That was my furthest one. I go to Albany quite often. That was an hour ride.
Everybody
great
everybody that
experience.
knows him knew when Roland was flying his plane, because he'd go up in the airplane, he'd fly around the house like a
I take pictures.
circle the house, and
Buzz
you'd
the
hear him.
house.
He would
I
buzz the
had
house.
a camera where it's self-rewinding, and I take pictures and I go to the people. You like this picture? I'll sell it to you.
Pay for his gas.
What do you? Oh, come on! I can't believe
He'd
this.
he'd literally buzz the house because he'd pull up on it and start accelerating, and you'd hear it. Oh, there's Roland.
And
And people,
take a picture and then go back and sell it to him. Next time I won't hit your house if you buy the.
you buy the picture. Yeah.
Did you ever go up with him?
Yeah, I went up with him a number of
You
times.
get sick.
If you can fly straight, I can handle that. But when he does that
Me
he does
too.
a full bank turn,
Oh,
and you get so nauseous.
What I used to like is just go up and
You and me.
turn right straight down and pick it up.
oh, when you.
You get about 3G force.
Well, years ago, everybody knows Jim Drillette.
Oh yes.
I call him the Red Baron. I dubbed him that many years ago when he buzzed the radio station a few times when he got his first plane.
Yeah.
And he begged me for years to go up. And
I went
don't
up with
wanna-
him.
I paid
Oh.
for a trip for his birthday once about
Did you?
6 years ago. I told him, don't have mercy on him.
Give it to him.
And my dad got
He
off the
did.
plane, and I watched him. He'd go straight up like this and spin. He'd go straight down and spin. He'd go across the runway upside down, and my dad was upside down waving to me.
Come on, you
he-
loved every minute of
He
it.
got off the plane after 20 minutes, and he said, I want to go again. I would have been so
You
pale.
were one crazy person, I'll tell you that. Because Jim Drillette did that with me.
Yeah.
And all the 8-point turns and the barrel rolls and the hammer heads and I got off the
absolutely.
plane and guess what I did?
Oh, I'm sure.
I got home and I was green. My wife, I walked in and I said, don't talk to me. I'm going on the couch, shut the lights off. I'm
Yeah.
putting a blanket over my head.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't get back into shape for about 8 hours.
That's right.
And Jim always thought I was mad at him because I took right off and got in
Sure.
the car.
Yeah.
Years later, I shook his hand. I said, thanks for the plane ride. But
Yeah.
I've never been so sick in my life. I guess you must get over it after a while, huh?
I never was sick on it.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, my. So you never flew, you never learned to fly
Oh,
yourself?
he taught me, and I remember taking off with the Cessna and landing, but you know, the drive was more for automobiles.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's a great story. I'm glad we got into the airplane story.
Yeah.
Cars, automobiles, no boats?
I have a boat too.
Oh, you got a boat
you have
too?
to have a boat if you live on Lake Champlain. So that's,
There's this boat right there. You see
Oh,
what he
yeah.
always wanted? See that picture? What Michael always wanted? That's what he's got.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, that's probably got a little glare on it.
That's not my boat yet.
No, that's the one you'd love to have, is that what you're telling me?
Well, my wife is very, very intelligent woman, and she truly believes if you follow your dreams, they come true. And if you're going to have a dream, you have to have a dream board. If you have the picture in front of you, it will come true. And I believe it is true. It's a reality. And if you put the picture in front of you long enough, things happen. And there's nothing more passion than to be able to have a boat and a house like that, maybe in Florida.
Oh, well, listen, what you gotta do is wait for the big Montreal boat show, send her up there and negotiate in Spanish.
Sure, she can do that.
She'll get you a deal that you can't refuse.
Yep.
How did you meet her, by the way?
I was investing in not real estate, in automobiles. I would go to Florida to buy Florida cars at the auction. It was right around this time. It was January 24th. Went down to West Palm Beach and went to a big classic car auction and then a Highline auction. And in the evening, my friend that I went down with knew the town well and took me into a really nice area, a restaurant and a place where I met her. She was there and we talked and danced and we really hit it off really well.
Of course you danced.
Yeah, I had to dance a little bit. It was in my blood. And the Latin women know how to dance. They
Oh,
really know
you
how to
got that
dance,
right.
and it's in their blood too. So, to make a long story short, she and I just had a passion for each other, and she decided to move from Florida. Originally, she lived in Venezuela all her life. She lived in Florida, Miami area, and Fort Lauderdale, probably for about 15 years down in Florida. And her dream as a little girl, she says she remembers drawing pictures and paintings of a little house in the country with snow. She never saw snow before. And for her to come to the United States as a dream, it was a passion. And to be able to move to the Plattsburgh area in the North Country, for her, it was just in the back of her mind. It was going to happen.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, God works in wonderful ways.
Some things are just predestined, aren't they, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So
I'm very blessed with her. She's been a great wife.
So you've been together for how long?
5 years we've been married now.
No kidding. Isn't that the neatest
Yeah,
story?
she's wonderful. She's a great mom to my son, and she's got 3 children. Gino Blando's a senior this year at Plattsburgh High School. That's her son, my stepson. Tremendous basketball player. He's doing well, and it's he's just like my own. To be able to go watch him play and to work with him and to help him grow, he's
Isn't it
see
great?
growing up into a man, and soon my son is going to be 12 this year. It's to watch them grow and to give them good values and to always try to teach them to do the right thing and treat people right. You see it. You see the little things they do, how they care about other people, how they really are concerned. And Isabel's the same way. And if you continue to raise your children with the right beliefs, I think if you instill it in them, as they get older, it'll become natural, and they'll raise their children that way.
I think it's really important to instill these lessons, not only to our own family, to show what family is like, and here we are,
Sure.
with a wonderful close-knit family for all these generations. But it's something that Calvin and I are totally committed to on Hometown Cable. This is the essence of who Calvin Castine is, and family has always been number one with me.
That's
How
right.
could it not be when I married a gal with 11 kids?
Wow.
And she took me in with my 2 kids.
Wow.
But family is essential. And if we could only convince, I'm not going to preach here,
Sure.
but if we could only convince some of the young parents who might be listening today and watching this program on television to spend more time nurturing those
agree.
little kids.
Yeah. It's when I was selling real estate, my son was born in 1996. I had been selling real estate for almost 15 years, and I actually gave up real estate. I was pretty good in real estate. I worked with Don Dooley, and it was a wonderful company. It was my home.
Did you really? Oh, I didn't know
But
that.
I wanted to spend time focusing on my own personal real estate investments and my apartments and keep them rented. But I really knew that the real estate industry for me was working every day after 5 and every weekend. And my son was my passion, and I spend so much time every day. I want to instill a good value into him and spend time with him. So I gave up real estate, and it's, you know, I learned this from my parents. They gave me the foundation that I am today. They were passionate about their business. They worked hard. They were diligent. They were always honest and fair and treat people right. And they're constantly motivating. You can do it. You can do it. Never give up on your dreams. You know, in my house, you can't say, I can't. It's not even a word that's allowed in my vocabulary, because there's no such thing as you can't. You can do anything you want to do it if you have a dream and you don't give up on it. And you say, I'm going to try, I'm going to work on it, and you find a way. And it's bringing your children up, like you said, spending time with them, just being there for them, and having an honest relationship with them, I think is so important today.
We're fortunate. You're a product of the local school system, the parochial school system, and the public school system, and the local university. We're fortunate in many respects. And Calvin is a product of the parochial school system up in Champlain, St. Mary's, right, Calvin? And, you know, we've done shows up there, and we are very lucky to have a lot of great, dedicated people and good public and private schools in this area.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, all the way up through the Clinton Community College in Plattsburgh State, and there are a lot of things we can pursue in this area that some people in some areas cannot, just because of the nature of this North Country, where it is and how. And hopefully little shows like this will help people say, oh yeah. As long as they don't try to open another car wash.
I don't want that. This is the car wash triangle here.
I don't know how many car washes there are within 1,000 feet of this place. But when you and I first really seriously talked, you said this was a dream. I mean, it wasn't just something, I think I'll build a car wash.
Yeah.
I think you've already told us today that this was a dream from the time you were a very young kid, maybe 16 years old.
Absolutely. It really was a dream. And it's, when I built this building, when I was inside the building, it was like walking inside my dream. It's so surreal to be in this building that for so long was just a dream. But it was a dream with a passion. If I could get a degree in car washing, literally I would have a doctorate.
I don't know if I have any degrees
a
in car
doctorate
washing,
degree, because the research that I did out of the passion, I had files and cabinets and rooms full of literature about car washing that most of it was more in my head than anywhere I could ever write a book about it. And the only way to get it out was to actually fulfill the dream and build the car wash. And for 25 years, I just constantly, I would go to different cities, I would go to the car washes, I would drive through them, I would talk to the owners, I would talk to the customers. I would go to conventions in Las Vegas and all over the Northeast, in Florida, just to see all the car wash industry and learn, get affiliated with the people in the industry. The editors, one of the editors of one of the magazines, they know me personally, a couple of them, because I've talked to them about so many things. And
you don't let up. When you want to know something, you don't let up. You stay after it, don't you?
I was a guest speaker at Plattsburgh State on a couple of occasions, and they were talking about entrepreneur class. And you go to school and you learn. And if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school and learn. And if you want to start a business, you have to do the research. You can't just go open one up because you think it's a good idea. You have to research the marketability of it, how you're going to do it, what's the demographics, what's the demand for it. And if you do your research, whether you're getting married, you want to do the research with who you're getting married to. You want to do the research if you're going to buy a car.
Sure.
I think if you do the research, in the end, it pays off. And you spend a little bit of time and don't make hasty decisions. And 25 years is probably longer than most people would take to make a decision, but it was a huge investment. It was a long time coming, but it was the right time. You had to make sure you had the foundation, you had everything ready. Acquiring the property took a while. It was a 10-year project on this property alone.
Was it really?
Yeah, when I bought the property, there had been 2 fires here before I bought it.
I recall that.
It was owned and went into foreclosure, and there was a number of people making offers on it. Then I made an offer, and I was the high bidder. And then I'm like, oh gosh, what am I going to do now?
Oh, no. Yeah.
I made a plan to buy it, but I know I want to do a car wash. And actually, Rick Perry is the one that laid this layout out. I had a totally different concept, and I went down to see Rick Perry, and I said, help me figure out how I can build this car
Rick's
wash.
a good guy, and does his job very well in the
he's
city.
very dedicated. I got to commend him, because he's got a very difficult job and a lot of things to take care of, and he does a great job, and he's fair and honest with people. And that's the kind of community leader we need in Plattsburgh, someone like that.
Well, he's once again, his dad in the police department, and
that's true.
Now they got now Dick would be pleased. He got a bridge named after him.
That's true.
And,
yeah.
I played ball with him for a while, and he was a good guy. And just what another great North Country family, you know.
Yeah, he was
So
great.
anyway, you got the property,
Yeah,
you got
so,
the building.
Rick Perry helped me lay it out, and then I found an architect that helped me lay out the dream project of how I wanted to do it. Pat Crosby. She wasn't a certified engineer. We had to get them certified after. But I had a dream in my eyes.
What do you think about Pat?
Oh, wonderful lady. She
I
made
did
my
a-
dream come true. She was.
For those
it's-
people who read the Strictly Business magazine locally,
Yeah,
I
that's
did an
great.
article on Pat, one of the early articles that I did, because they redid a beautiful stone house
I
on
remember
Route
that.
22,
Yes.
across from Culver Hill.
Hmm.
And she and her husband,
She spent a long time making that.
terrific people,
Yeah.
and
She did a great
you
job.
talk about women who get out there and climb ladders and hammer nails.
Yeah.
She can conceive of anything in her mind, and look what she did with that
Yeah.
gallery at the college, on the
Yeah.
college campus.
Yeah.
Terrific. So you
She's
you
good.
teamed up with some pretty
Yeah,
neat
you know,
people.
You got to find the right people to help you. You got to find people that are experienced and that have the same drive and they believe in you. Even the bank, Champlain National Bank, was instrumental. They were the only bank that even wanted to look at my property. The other banks would close the door and say, "The L&M? You want to do something at L&M?" No, thank you. They would close the door. I'm like,
Oh,
just
boy.
hear me. Listen to my dream. And it was a step-by-step process. We took there was 14 units next door. We turned it into 7 really nice apartments. That was the first step. Had to generate cash flow. In the meantime, right where this building is now, there was a 10-unit low-income rentals. There were 10 little small units that, for people that just didn't have high income that needed a place to live, and that helped pay the taxes on the property. In the meantime, then the next step was the 3-unit out front. Fix that one up, the 3-unit, make it really nice rentals there. Clean, high-end dishwasher, garbage disposal, self-cleaning ovens, microwave, vaulted ceilings, skylights, kitchen cabinets, oak kitchen cabinets, nicer than many
Makes you
houses.
want to sign right on the dotted
Yeah.
line, doesn't he?
Well,
What a
let me
guy.
tell you, when someone walks in, they see the apartment, they want it. They
Yeah.
rent it right away. They're like, and usually you'll have a list of 5 people, and you choose
Sure.
the best one. If you have a nice product, people will accept it and they want it. So then the next step was to secure financing through the bank for the car wash, and get people to believe in the dreams. And the zoning board, it was a huge project to get through the zoning board. But the alternative was keep the old L&M motel that was here with the bar and the restaurant, and that wasn't my idea of what would be best for the community or for my dream or for the neighborhood. And the city backed me up. The vote was 7-0. They approved it 100%. And then I was on my way. We had to continue building this project step by step, finding the foundation, the concrete guy. I was, step by step finding the people to help me that would build the project with me.
I hope our viewers can get an idea what the word passion means.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a word that I use all the time
That's
on
true.
this program, because life would be utterly meaningless for me if I couldn't follow all the passions.
That's true.
And it's idiosyncrasies. It's things like old cars.
Mhm.
It's like if you want to study painting, if you want to write, if you want to do a little writing,
That's true.
if you want to learn to fly an airplane,
Yeah, or ballroom dance.
or ballroom dancing, or if you want to build something
Mm-hmm.
like a car wash.
Sure. I never thought it would be so difficult. You just think it's a piece of concrete and maybe a couple of wires. It's so involved. It was so intense.
I gotta say this. I go with him at these car wash deals, these Las Vegas, all these
Conventions.
places.
Yeah.
Conventions.
And he used to say to me, "I'm gonna get the best one there is." And he did. He found where the best one. We'd go look at this one, and find which one walked the car the best. Everything was mechanical. Oh, if you saw the room down there, it's just full of chemicals and pumped and tanks, and I don't even know the
State of the
half.
art. State of the art. Everything is state of the art.
It's
you know?
interesting,
And everything's automation. He doesn't have to be there.
The
Yeah.
first time I drove into it, I said, okay, now what did I get myself
Yeah.
into? And I see green and red and
Blues and pinks.
blues and pinks, and I said, oh
Sure.
no,
Oh,
we're
the
trapped in
children-
here, we're never gonna get
The
out.
children come and they love it. There's children that come after school. They make sure their parents don't wash the car until after school so they can be in the car. When the tricolor foam comes on, it works great in the car. It's not just a show, but it is a show and it smells great. And the car turns out really shiny after. People love it because it's working for the car. It protects the car. It gives it a nice shine. The kids see it and it's fascinating. The whole car is covered in this baby blue, pink, and yellow
Unbelievable.
polish. And then when you rinse this off, the smell, if you turn your fan on, the smell is so wonderful. It's like, so it gets all the senses going, and the children are screaming in the background. It's fun to watch.
You know, there's a website if people want to get on the Washland
Sure, Washland.
website, and there are places to check in a lot of the photographs in the process.
Yeah,
Now
Washland.com.
you have Washland.com, but you have a lot of the photographs on a flat screen laptop, and
Sure.
we're going to kind of go through them so people can get an idea.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've told us things about what it looked like way back when, but you got a lot of the construction photographs along the way.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we're going to stop for a moment, but when we look at these photographs, people are going to say, how did this man ever get to here from there?
Yeah.
It's not always that a straight line is the
No.
distance between 2 points, especially
true.
when you're trying to do something like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to it, but again, it's exactly what you said, the passion. It's never giving up on your dream, and when you fulfill the dream, the next thing is we're here, we're at it, but now to keep it the best, make it the best, use the best quality products, use the best equipment, and that helps build rapport with the people, because they'll come in and they believe in you, because not does it look nice, but it really works, and I think you got to build your rapport with people by being honest with them, and then your business presentation has to be honest, and it has to work. If they pay, they want it to work, and they want to come back.
You know, we've done programs at lots of businesses, talked to a lot of individuals, because I'd love to find out what makes people tick.
Sure.
What's in there? I mean, who winds this guy up every morning so he can jump out of
That's
bed and
true.
say, I love going down there. I
Yeah.
want to see who's getting their car washed today, who's in the apartment, who wants to buy a car. I mean, how does that happen? And it's almost like it's preordained.
You think so?
You got this dream,
Yeah.
you're the one that brought it up. You're
This is
talking
true.
about this dream,
Yeah.
and you never took your eyes off that dream.
Oh, I can't say it. How many people said, "Oh, you're never going to build a car wash. You've been talking about that for years." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to do it. It's there. I can't not do it." And to give up on your dream is disappointing. You just have to keep going. Keep going.
I think that's another lesson, that people can visualize what the end product is going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
You know what fascinates me is that he knows all about it. Anything goes wrong, he knows all about it. I thought I knew a lot about mechanics, but I don't know half of it. This machine.
Well, if he's done as much studying and research as he
Oh.
says he does, and you've gone to the conventions with him, you know.
Yeah.
You
You
know
put together
where-
the piece by piece, and when you break down every piece of
He knows
of the
everything.
car wash, and some of it is state of the art. There's stuff in this car wash that you won't see from here, maybe even to Albany, is state of the art. It's the newest stuff that just came out. There's computers that work it. There's reverse osmosis system. It's a very expensive, $75,000 water treatment. It's not we don't reclaim water. It's just purifying the city water. The city water comes in. It takes 10 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of pure spot-free rinse.
Oh, no, you got to be kidding me.
9 gallons goes down the drain. We don't reuse it. That water, that 9 gallons, will finish the car with a spot-free rinse. It's more pure than bottled Avion. If you drink that water, it's crystal clear. There's no TDS, total dissolved solids, in the water. It's completely crystal clear.
Isn't that
When you
amazing?
put that on the car in the end, every car wash, from the bottom one up to the top, even the self-serve, you can choose spot-free rinse. And people come in, they bottle it, they buy it, and they put it in their
Yeah,
bottle.
come on.
I'm not kidding.
Come
it's so
on.
good. It's so pure. But if you had a black car and you drove out in the sun, and they showed me this. I mean, the reason I'm buying this, I've seen it at other car washes in other parts of the country. You take a black car, you shut the dryers off, and you go out in the sun after. If you've had spot-free rinse, and you'll get no little spots on it. And nobody wants to have to wipe their car down after they just paid
That's
to
kind of a
wash it.
selling point all by
So,
itself.
well, it is, but it's what people want. You demand and you expect when you go to get your car washed for it to be washed. So you don't want to have to towel it after. And it's a feature that I offer because it's a selling point, but it's something that I think raise the level. You get better quality. As competition comes in, you have to continue to raise the level and try to seek out the best equipment and technology of the day.
But when you're building a business, any business, including all of your businesses, his businesses, you have to learn the marketing too.
Sure.
You've got to learn marketing. You've
Oh,
gone over to
yeah.
Plattsburgh State to
Yeah, that's one of my
teach.
favorites.
Dr. Nancy Church is a dear
Yeah.
friend of mine for many, many years. She got me over the shyness of speaking in public,
Wow.
which sounds strange.
She did a great job.
But she's a wonderful lady.
Wow.
And to learn marketing,
Hmm.
you've got to get up before the other guy.
Yeah.
You got to know how to talk about your product so that people say, yeah, I want to get right down there.
And I like the word marketing instead of selling, because even in real estate, it's very easy to market, to sell something if you believe in it. It's just your honesty comes out, and if you believe in it, people can't not believe you. When you go see a salesman that's just trying to make a sale, you can feel it, you can tell. And I think my marketing comes from my research and my knowledge and my passion that I have for it, because I believe in it. And it's you get someone that comes in and they're not happy, and there's customers that'll come in on occasion, there's something that wasn't right, they're not happy in any of my businesses. And if you sit down and you analyze it step by step, you can figure it out.
If you want to.
It's customer error, there's many different things, there's different reasons why it didn't work, and it's not always just the business. Of course, the customer blames on the business, but if you sit and you talk to them and you understand what they did, you know, maybe it's the laundromat and they put the soap in on top of their clothes before the water came in, and all their soap hardened in the clothes. You know, it's possible. Maybe there's something in the car wash. A lot of times the undercarriage, they go in way too fast.
And the customer's always right.
And the customer, you know, the customer is right. You give them a free wash and they're happy, you know.
Of course you do.
But if you talk to them and you take the time to analyze it, they understand, you educate the customer, they understand what they did wrong, or you understand maybe there was something wrong in your machine. If they didn't tell you, you would know, so you appreciate them telling you, and then the next time they come back and they're happy. And I think the marketing is build the business slow with satisfied customers.
And be a student of whatever you're doing. Learn it first
Yeah.
yourself so that you can help to educate other people. That's great.
absolutely right.
Now, you got the photographs on that website and other photographs on your machine. We're going to pause our tape for a minute. You and I are going to go over there
Sure.
and go through the photographs one by one.
Oh, sure.
So we can give people an idea what we're talking about. We've drawn them a mental picture.
Mhm.
Now we're going to show them right on the screen.
Yeah, there's a lot. At Washland.com, there's two sides of the website. One side is the car wash, and one side is the laundromat. The laundromat site was built first, so when you go there, you see coming soon. I mean, this is how far I haven't updated it.
2005
coming soon,
maybe?
Yeah, it's like it's time to update that, but it's kind of I like it because there's a little bit of a memory.
I chuckled because I knew what to expect.
Coming soon, a car wash, and that was there, and I leave it there because that was my dream, and it was this building process to get to where I am today. But you know, when I get my good web designer in there one day, maybe we'll modify it a little bit. But you can see coming soon when you click on that, the car wash, the laundromat. I mean, I'm sorry, the L&M, what it looked like a little bit before, and how the steps came to see where the car wash site was going to be. And then when you go to the car wash side, there's many, many photographs from the ground up of the car wash and watching the construction take place until the finished product was there.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's pause for a moment. And we're talking with Michael Racine. Michael, the picture that we have on the screen is a drawing,
Yeah, that's
artist concept.
Artist rendering. My friend Dan Gallagher did that for me many years ago, back around 95, 97 when I bought the property. We started sketching out a few of the ideas of how the property could be laid out. And as I envisioned and started sketching more architecturally what we wanted the property to look like, I gave him the plans and I asked him to draw the artist rendering of the project so I could actually present it to the banks and to the zoning board of what my dream project would look like as a finished product.
And we talked a few minutes ago as we were sitting with your dad about how important it is to keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the end product, to have a vision in your mind, and that was your vision.
Yeah, that was in my office for 7, 8 years at least, in my office at home, and every day I would look at this, and every day I worked a little something on the project to work towards the end progress, but every day I would look at that and had to, if it was 5 minutes or 3 hours sometimes, it seems every day of the week, there was just a little step forward to build this project.
It's an amazing ethic that you have built in, and now we can understand why. That's why I love to enjoy doing a program like this. So you can see why people do what they do and why they follow that dream. So that was the artist rendering, and this, my friends, Calvin will tell me if I have too much glare on it.
No, but you can lift this side,
This side?
lift it, you're not on the level, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. I'll help you do it.
Oh, well, my body's crooked. All right, how does that look? All right. Tell us what we're looking at.
This is the Washland Car Wash final project,
Right.
the end of the dream, with a few of my collector cars there. I think you can see that on the website,
Oh,
the same
yeah.
picture. It's the final product, and it's so amazing how close, if you look closely, where the vacuums are, the The clock or the digital sign, the display sign, that is even in the dream. The apartments on top. It is actually so 99% of what I envisioned it for 7 years to be, that I think when I started doing the project, I couldn't leave out any detail because it was in my mind floating around, and I had to make sure I put it in to finish the dream. And cost overruns were tremendous on the project. But
No, were they really?
that's
Why
because-
does that not surprise me?
Probably because I didn't cut any corners, and I knew that this property would be in my family and generations to come for years. And if you build it right, it'll last.
I'm looking at license plates above the window. You probably don't even look at these up here anymore.
Sure, I have quite a collection of license
it-
plates too, and it's a little passion I have. But
Oh, really?
one of the cars that I own is a 1969 Camaro Indy 500 pace car. It's a very rare,
No kidding.
and that would be the license plate for that. The Washland plate is just a plate that I use because it's my company. I have another one on the Volkswagen that says Autoland. I was on eBay one day and I saw Mr. Clean, and I said, "Boy, that's not a description of Michael Racine. There's no other
Mr.
license plate."
Clean.
Yeah.
Greatest
So that
show on
works.
earth, Ski, Utah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's
I
really
love
good.
it. All right, now what I'd like to do is look at some of your pictures on the computer,
Sure.
just to show people how this construction process took place from beginning to end. Can we do that?
Sure. You know, I was looking at them a week ago, and it was physically exhausting. As I reviewed these pictures, I don't know how I made it through, because it's, as you look at the pictures, and it reminds me of the steps, the progress. It was exhausting as I was looking at these pictures, because it reminded me how hard it was to get there. But again, you just got to keep progressing. Don't give up.
I said blood, sweat, and tears, and you had a few of those, all right?
there was a few
Let me
of them.
move over to one side here, and Calvin's going to move in a little bit, and you explain each picture. You got it? You can explain each picture as you go through it, Mike.
This one I think he has already. This is just
Yep.
the artist rendering. This was the property the day I purchased it from the bank in Vermont. Actually, the top up here was all black. It was run down, and after the fire, it destroyed an awful lot of the building and the roof. But from here, this was just one picture of what it looked like when it was part of the L&M Motel. There was 7 units on the bottom and 7 on the top. And from there, the project turned out beautiful, and it turned out to be really nice. We have 7 apartments in here, skylights and vaulted ceilings upstairs. They're all 2 bedrooms and 1 little efficiency on the end, and a laundry room down here for the tenants. This is the other building on the property on the corner. This would be 308 Margaret Street. It was a very, very dilapidated, rundown 3-apartment house. I don't think anybody had lived in there for probably 5 years, but before that it couldn't have been very nice. And I'll show you some of the demolition and construction of this particular house. It was probably done about 8 years ago now, maybe 6 years. We completely tore this building apart. I think we saved maybe 1 wall on this whole
Not
project.
very much of it.
Not very much, no. We ordered roof trusses. Again, the upstairs apartment is this whole upstairs. It's got vaulted ceilings. It's a beautiful, beautiful apartment. And we didn't cut any corners, and everybody that sees that apartment, they've never seen anything as nice as that. And we're slowly getting pictures of how we framed this up, and construction took quite a while on this project, but I think that it was worth it in the end. It kind of shows the finished project. Now I can find some pictures of the car wash project.
Computers are amazing to have this stuff all stored there, are all stored inside.
Yeah, this is the actual car wash website, and I thought we had that picture on there. There's my lovely bride,
Isn't
Isabel.
that beautiful? Just before the water started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was so wonderful helping me with this project, so dedicated to put up with me every day. I would be working 16, 18 hours a day, and she'd have my meals ready, and she'd be constantly supporting me and helping me make decisions, business decisions, and how to pursue with this. You know, I think behind every successful man, there's a woman, and
I think you two deserve each other just from a...
certainly has helped me a long ways.
Observation.
She helped me color coordinate the walls in here, pick out some nice colors. These walls are a very specialty block. They're probably about $10 a piece, as opposed to $1 a piece for a regular block. But for me, it was a one step, do it right the first time and never have to do it again. As they laid the blocks, they have the finish on them, so they really don't deteriorate, and they hold up well to the conditions of the car wash. So this is just a few of the actual, this one's not my car wash, the last few pictures, but it's a sample of one similar to my equipment. We'll go to some construction photos now. And I could keep you here all day with these photos, but we'll get you some quick preview of them. And there's, I think, probably over 100 pictures on here of the car wash. This was the 10-unit building. Right here was the restaurant that was knocked down already by this time. And this was the 10-unit building. One of its last days there, we were tearing it apart. I think I remember even having my dad there and my brother. There was got to be physically involved in your project.
You got it.
If you want them done right, you got to do it yourself.
You got a big hammer he's got.
I took a few swings with that
Oh,
hammer.
you did, huh?
You know, I think I'm involved every day from the construction to running the project. Even my son Alexander was there.
Look at this.
He said, if Dad can swing it, so can I.
Yeah.
My dad and my brother there, they've actually put in a few hours over here with no compensation, but maybe a free car wash now and then.
That's what family means, right?
So yeah, they get all the free car washes they deserve.
Sure.
They deserve it. They're family. And there's my son knocking down the building. It was a proud day to see the actual building go down and to know that the project was financed and the project was going to start. There's the building. This is actually the site where the car wash is going to be built right here.
Right there, huh?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can stop here and get a few other pictures, because this could take you quite a while. Go into the project a little bit.
Well, whatever you think you want to show, do it.
Okay.
All right, we're underway again. There's a foundation picture.
There's the foundation going in. Got to have a good foundation if you want to build the right building. And
Look
there
at
was an
this.
awful lot of groundwork that had to go into this project. It was amazing. Just in the equipment room alone, there's over 100 pieces of conduit in the floor to run all the wiring and the plumbing for just the equipment room for the car wash alone. And we worked one night late because the plant was going to close for paving within 1 or 2 days. So there was a couple nights that we were out till 1 o'clock in the morning with.
Oh boy, look at this.
The neighbors were wonderful. They were really actually put up with a little bit of extra noise, but in the end, I think they were happy because the car wash was a better project for them than the old property that was there that was unfortunately not taken care of too much. Let's see if we can find a few photos of as the project gets built a little bit. A couple pictures from across the street. Now we'll go back to the index. Go into the project construction with a little framing. These are the guys working upstairs getting the framing done. Tony Lapierre is a tremendous guy for framing, and local people know how great of a contractor he is. Super great gentleman to work with.
How long did this process take, actually building the building?
It took about a year from the day we broke ground. It was October 13th, my mom's birthday. And I remember actually washing the first car the next year on January 7th in the automatic bay. And from then we worked on the apartments upstairs, getting those rented. This is framing of the second floor. Oh, a lot of good workers there. They were really, really good, really helpful. And I think there's a picture of my wife and I here.
Look at this.
She got up on that ladder. She was right up there helping me a couple of times. I think she didn't care for heights too much, but as long as I was holding her tight going down the ladder, there was no stairs at this time, so let's see if we have some more. We'll get a little bit of the framing of the building. Certainly need to show you my dedicated worker, Glenn Braun. He works really hard every day. If it wasn't for him and Bonnie Whalen, I don't think I would be anywhere I am today. You got to have good people working for you that you can trust, that are there for you. That's Tony Lapierre. Let's see. Slowly you see it's starting to take shape, the building. And it seems like forever sometimes when you're in construction. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. but every day you make a little progress. These are in the bays. Glenn again. Glenn is wonderful because he can do maintenance from electrical to plumbing. He can do construction. He can work on laundromat equipment. He can work on car wash equipment. And there's not a day where I can't call him, and if he's in the middle of something, he'll still be there for you. And there's a couple of guys framing. Getting close. That gives you a pretty good idea of what the project was. I think we had a few other pictures that are a little more closer to the finishing of the project, but they're not as well laid out. The sign was a pretty exciting day when you actually get to put up your car wash sign. You know that you're close to open then.
Did you have that made locally?
Actually, I tried, but it was such a custom sign. I found a friend of my wife's in Florida that she knew very well.
No kidding.
They made it down there and they shipped it up. I designed and engineered the entire sign with the help of Larry Jeffords for structural and for weight. And there's another friend of mine in Montreal, Yvonne Jolie. He's done awnings for me since I opened the laundromat. And these awnings are massive, massive. What an undertaking to build these things.
I bet it is. I
This
can't
is
even conceive of that.
Huge, huge. We had a tractor trailer bring them down 40 feet long, some of these sections. Each awning is white. They take every single square and they tape it off, hand taping it off. Every single letter they had to tape off by hand. Then they spray it with about 7 coats of paint. Huge, huge process to build all these awnings for the car wash, all custom done. A company up in Montreal called Prestige that specializes in this type of work. And I must say I was very, very impressed with the finished product with their work. Yeah, there's my brother up there with his tow truck and myself trying to get the sign mounted. It was really, really tough. It was a little windy that day. And of course it has to be illuminated so that people driving by at night can see the sign. And if anybody has creative car wash messages that they'd like to see on the sign someday, I'd be glad to accept an email, because sometimes the messages are getting slow or getting old. But I want someone to come up with a good, catchy car wash idea and email it to me, and I'll use it on the sign. You'll often see I put a nice little Bible verse or something in the...
And that's wonderful.
Yeah, I really am blessed with all the things that God's helped me do, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for Him letting me acquire my dreams, you got to be thankful. And if I can put a message up on the sign that has maybe a message that'll click into somebody's mind that day and change their thoughts, God has worked wonderful in my wife's and my life, so I think maybe one little message on the sign here and there is my way of saying thank you for helping me build this project.
Don't you think it's essential to be grateful for what you have?
Oh, very much.
Even though you had to work very hard to get there, it's essential to be grateful every morning when your feet hit the floor.
That's so important, because God gives it to you and He can take it away as fast as you acquire it. There's my lovely bride with my dad. And there's my best buddy, my dad, my best friend, like my brother, my twin, my business partner. He's helped me through a lot of growing and teaching me so many things. Here's a super investment. I spent a lot of money custom designing our own tokens for the car wash.
You got it? You designed them?
Yeah, I designed them with my wife's help, because she's got a lot of artistic creations.
I may save a couple just for as collector's items.
I've had people, believe it or not, from across the country, on occasion, email me or send me a dollar and say, for a few dollars, please send me one of your tokens. I collect tokens.
Isn't that something?
The industry that I bought them from uses these to send out as samples. They saved some because they liked it a lot. It was a nice design. And this token is nice because many times a token will work anywhere in anybody's machine, but this token is specially designed. There's 2 engineering things that are designed in it. from the metal design to some special ridges that only
Raised
my
ridges, exactly
Yeah.
right. I noticed that when I saw the first one.
only that token will only work in my machine, and is guaranteed not to work in any other machine within 600 miles.
Within
So,
600 miles,
Within
come
600
on.
miles. Yes, they
Isn't that
figure out
amazing?
what token you have. They basically take a map and draw a circle on it, and anybody that wants a similar token, the company will do it,
Oh,
but they'll make sure
man.
it's not the same match to
Isn't
this.
that-
So all my equipment reads only that token. And of course, I can program to take anything that I want. You can program the token to accept dollars,
Sure.
dollar coins, my tokens, quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies if I wanted. But the nice thing is the security behind this token. It was a big investment, but the dream is for me is that if we could only get the laundromat industry to be as far ahead as the car wash, so that I could use the token at the laundromat too. And
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
my pride and joy, my son Alexander, who's now much older, he's 12 this year, and we spend a lot of time together. I coach his basketball team now, and I coach his baseball team this year, and for the last couple of years, Michigan's Plus. Here's one of my stepsons, Tony. He lives in Miami, and a friend of the family. But it seems that the project was a family project, from helping design the property, or design the layout, design the color schemes, doing the marketing plan. Everybody had a little input, and for me, if you're not open-minded to other people's opinions, you close your mind, then your project won't be as successful. Glenn, my worker, has continued to come up with great ideas, and he still does to this day, about what you can do to better the business.
Yeah.
And customers come in, and you listen to their concerns, you listen to their suggestions, and I'm open to them, because, boy, I'm telling you, the other people have a perspective that you don't have when you're in the middle of it. You're in the blender, and you don't see it from the outside. So that's most of the pictures
Oh,
that I
that's
have
great.
on
The
today.
pictures, now that you've broken your legs kneeling down there, if you can stand up
You
and
see,
we can
this is
chat.
another dream here, too. I went with my dad to Paris.
Did you really?
A number of years ago, and it was a dream of ours. We traveled all over Europe for about 14 or 15 days, and it's on my wife's dream poster to go to Paris. It's on my screensaver, and maybe by the end of the year we'll be there.
We made
So-
about dreams.
Yeah.
I know you'll get there. If you want to, based on
Sure.
what we've learned today, I know if you want to go there, you're going to get there.
And I'll be glad to see you there. You can't be in the same hotel room as my wife and I, but we'll be glad to see you if you want to go. We've
You
had a
know,
lot of fun.
and we do love, Kay and I love to travel, and raising a huge family, probably like your father, except for his war experiences, as a young guy, didn't get a chance to travel an awful
Sure.
lot beyond the boundaries of Clinton County.
No.
But as you grow older, if you have the means to do it,
Yes.
it's good to schedule a little getaway every now and
Oh, yeah.
again.
Well, we're hoping to go again with my dad somewhere. He's talking about going to Austria, and that would be a dream of his, to go to Austria. And maybe if things turn out, we'll go there soon too.
All you have to do is imagine it,
Oh, that's right.
and those dreams will come true.
They
Follow
do.
the yellow brick road.
They do come true. They really do. It's if you got a positive attitude. If you don't have a positive attitude, you need to make it a positive attitude, and you just need to continue to step one step towards it. It's baby steps, but just continue to step forward in your dream. Don't give up on it, and it comes true. It
I
really
love
does.
those series of pictures from the beginning to the end, because what you've done, besides setting up a nice business for yourself on this end of town, you've improved the way this whole area
Yeah.
looks. Because it
It's-
didn't look so hot when you bought it.
Yeah, when I bought this, not too many people. I'd say I had an apartment for rent on this area on Weed Street and Margaret Street, and a lot of people wouldn't rent. They're like, "Oh, that's not a good area." And as I bought the laundromat, I made a goal to contact every neighbor and slowly try to, if they ever want to sell, to let them know. And I slowly acquired many of the properties on that entire block, taken one by one, fixing them up. There's still a few that I haven't got to that I will. But the quality of the life is different down in this end of town. It's
I got to tell you, I was in the radio business, as you know, for a long time, and the connotation connected with 310 Margaret Street
yeah.
was a lot different then than it is now.
When I lived across the street, I saw many police cars stopping here and ambulances, and now you see the same police cars, but they're not coming for the same reason.
Don't you love it?
I see them
Don't you
washing their
love it?
car, and I'm proud to see them in here. But there's a lot of pride in the properties. You fix them up, you make them nicer, you get quality tenants, and they live here. The tenants in the area are almost like a community. They all know each other. They know that I own the properties. They watch over the properties for each other. They've been there, many of them, for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. If somebody moves in, they're friendly, they talk to them, and it's almost like a little community watch area. They watch the laundromat, they watch the car wash, they call me if something's going on.
That doesn't happen everywhere in the country, so
No,
this is
I'm
kind of neat to
very
have here in
fortunate,
the
but
north end of Plattsburgh.
I think I treat my tenants the same way I treat the customers in the car wash or the laundromat. They're my people. They help me because they're helping build the business. If they believe in me, I believe in them. And if you treat them right, they'll treat you right. I mean, if they see a party in one of your properties, they call you and say, hey, there's a party over there. They let me know. And I tell the two people before they move in, they know what to expect. And it works. They all work together. I think once they move in, they're happy to be a part of that little community.
Michael,
It's a lot safer
I'll
now.
tell you this now, and I'll tell you it several times before we finish our show. I like the way you do things.
Yeah.
I like your overall attitude. It's refreshing in this day and age. And you mentioned a few key phrases right in the beginning of the interview, like honesty
Sure.
and integrity, and a few things connected with your business.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are not always synonymous with business these days.
Well, you wonder why my brother named his business Integrity RV or
Okay,
Integrity Towing. He's got integrity in his business, but where did the roots come from? It's from our parents. And,
Yeah.
and you said you got to raise your children
Absolutely.
spend time with them, teach them the right values. If your children are out doing things they're not supposed to be doing and you don't really care and you turn your head the other way, they're probably going to do that when they're older, and their children are going to do that too. As much as my mom and dad owned their own business, Dad ran the auto sales. He worked for the city for 15 or 10 years. My mom taught dancing from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock at night. She knew where we were. She knew who was watching us. Every day she gave us good values. We said our prayers. She made us good meals. She gave us a lot of loving. She always knew, and even to this day, hey, I got a nice dinner made for you. I know you're busy. Come over, just throw it in the oven.
Isn't that great?
It's the little things that she and my dad have done to raise us, to build that. And you make it sound like you don't see it in the community, you don't see it anywhere, that people don't do this. And to me, it's so every day. It's just, how could you do it any other way?
It gives you that fuzzy feeling. It does me
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
because these are the tenets that we all try to live by.
Sure.
Sometimes we fall a little short, but we have to keep trying.
Oh, thank God he forgives us for everything we do.
Don't you love it?
We're not perfect, and we make mistakes, and sometimes people aren't happy, and you can't please everybody. You do the best you can, and you stand strong on your morals and your values, and you continue to try to teach your children to do the same thing, and you hope that people believe in you and trust you. And not everybody does. Sometimes they think you're just out for business because it's a business, you want to make money. But when your business gets successful, you have to give back. You have to give to charities. You have to give to people
Absolutely important, and
you
so
know,
refreshing to hear you say that, Mike.
give back to the people that need it.
Because what
And
goes
it's-
around comes
Oh, sure.
around, and
I
it will
believe it.
come back to you.
I believe that 100%. You really need to do that. And as your business gets more successful, that's a blessing from me. That's a blessing from God. And you thank Him by helping the world. You help His people.
How
And
many people, I'm sure you've got this all calculated out, how many times does that car wash have to go on and off in the course of a day or a week or a year to make this a successful business for you?
I did all the numbers that I needed to do before I built the car wash. And I had all kinds of numbers from the people that sold me equipment. And they'll give you great numbers. Well, with your traffic count, you'll get this percentage and you'll get this. And I had all the numbers and I cut it in half and I said, I better at least do that, or else I've wasted my time. The business actually rose 25% from last year, so that's phenomenal growth. I'm really happy with that. Very, very good. I try to do at least 40 to 50 cars a day in the automatic and 40 or 50 in the self-serve. It doesn't always do that. That's the numbers I wanted to get. But I think the problem is I'm here in Plattsburgh on Margaret Street. I set up a little booth in the mall for
I
Christmas.
noticed that
Yeah.
little kiosk
just-
right in
yeah,
the middle,
just to
because I
sell-
walk by it every single day.
It was expensive, the rent and everything, and having somebody there. But the number of people that live in Plattsburgh that have never seen Washland Car Wash in Plattsburgh is amazing. They just don't come down here. They have no reason to. And I need to continue to get the word out and spread the word. And my customers are my best people. They continue to tell people how happy they are with it, and they continue
word
to
of
come
mouth.
back. And
Yeah.
word of mouth. But I think my business will grow again another 25%, and I think that's where I'll need to be to really make it profitable. I'm blessed that I bought the property for a good value, and I'm super blessed that I have 14 apartments on site, because without that, the investment would still not be paying for itself. I would never go do another one again with the numbers that I'm getting, because I had hoped for better, and I believe it will continue to grow, and I think it will be better. But if, there's days that you'll do 100 cars, and there's days you'll do 0 because it's snowing.
Well, that's true. We haven't had the best, we haven't had the driest winter in history here.
This is not the best January that we could hope for, but it's my dream, and if it's not super successful, it's knowing that I accomplished it, that I didn't give up.
It will be, and I know
fulfilling.
you won't give up, and I want to go downstairs and take a
Oh,
look
yeah.
at some of this equipment hands-on. Do you mind?
Sure, that'll be fun.
Let's do it.
Volume here. Let me test it, see how the volume is.
Hi, welcome to Washland Car Wash. Washing your car here is very simple. There's only 2 things to remember. Drive in slow and drive out slow. If you select packages 1, 2, or 3, there's an undercarriage wash that lasts 30 seconds. When you drive in, try to time yourself so you are halfway through after 15 seconds. After that, the rocket blasters will stop and you can pull forward to the stoplight. When you reach that point, put your car in park. The wash will start right away and it will last 5 to 6 minutes. At the end of the wash, the exit doors will open. When you exit on your right, outside the door, you will find a timer. You will have 60 seconds to dry your car. So drive out very slow and again time yourself so you are halfway through after 30 seconds. After the timer stops, you'll have plenty of time to clear the door before they close. Thank you for your purchase. We hope you enjoy the show. We look forward to seeing you back here really soon. Bye!
All right,
Good.
who was that young lady?
That's Jenny Blando, my wife's wonderful daughter. She's my stepdaughter. She's now in Miami. She was living up here for a year. She's coming back this year to go to Concordia, and you will see this woman in the movies. She's very, very dedicated. She has her dream board. She has her drive, and I've never seen a woman so driven to become a movie actress. She's studied in New York City. We drive her down there every week to a school. We've already taken her to Montreal to special acting classes. And remember the name Jenny Blando. You will see her in the
We will.
movies.
For the first time right here at the car wash.
That's right.
I
That's her
love
first
it. Let's,
job.
Let's go downstairs.
Thanks.
Okay, we're right outside the actual automatic car wash inside an adjacent bay, and what's in here?
This is the equipment room. This is all the inner workings, the heart of the operation. Many hundreds of thousands of dollars actually in here, and thousands of hours of work. It's all state-of-the-art equipment. This is the spot-free rinse systems that we have in here, the self-serve systems. There's automatic systems for the automatic bay. There's the product in here that goes on the car. There's in-floor heat system, which is very, very important in the car wash. You have to heat all the pads inside and out so people don't, the water's going to freeze when it's cold and people would slip. It's all run with in-floor heat, 3 different furnaces that keep that warm so that they don't freeze. There's just day-to-day operation things. You need your electrical, your plumbing in here. And it took a lot of time. We built a special deck up on top, which is all steel to hold our holding tank for our spot-free rinse. There's
Over our right shoulder up here?
yeah, there's a holding tank that probably holds about 375 gallons of water, just pure spot-free rinse water to go on the cars. Another system which is really neat, vac it up system. None of the money is ever actually stored in the bays. It's a special vacuum system that sucks it back up into a steel
No kidding.
steel vault that you can't get into with a dynamite. Really, it's all cement and heavy grade steel that holds all the coins, which are emptied on a regular basis anyway.
Yeah, that's great.
There's a lot of investment in the top end vending machines to vend the tokens, to vend different car wash products. It even takes a credit card. All of our equipment, if you're here and you got a credit card, you can actually buy tokens and go use
Been
the
there,
tokens.
done that.
You can use them in the self-serve, the tokens. You can use them in the automatic bay, or you can use them in the vacuums.
All right.
And then the credit card, a lot of people all complimented me that they can come to the car wash 24 hours a day, pull up to the automatic bay, and use their credit card. It's convenient for them. We have Wacky Wednesday every Wednesday, which is great. The $12 wash is only $8, and you'll see a line out to the road on a Wednesday. But it's a lost leader day. I certainly, it doesn't meet the cost of a wash on that day, but customer will get a chance to try the best wash. And in the end, I've actually, if you look at my numbers, I sell more $12 washes than the other 3 combined. So out of the 4 washes, the number 1 sells more than 2, 3, and 4 total. It's a good quality wash. I'll be glad to give you guys a complimentary wash, and you get the experience of the tricolor foam, the spot-free rinse, the Rain-X, which makes the car shine. It's really nice. It's
All
fun.
right,
It's fun.
let's take a look at the car wash.
Only a few moments left on this program, so we're going to show Gordy. He's not going to order a hamburger here. He's going to come up and order a car wash. Okay, here's Gordy. They say go slow with the first part because they're going to clean your undercarriage. And there they come. And spraying them from the top. We try to do a variety of programs, and we thought of doing a car wash for the local individual would be an interesting little change of pace, and I hope you'll agree with that. What's happening here, Michael?
Well, this is a second pre-soak. There's a two-step pre-soak here. One is a low-pressure pH and one is a high-pressure pH. The advantages of the 2 steps is it eats the different types of products. Sometimes you need a low pH, sometimes you need a high pH. There's actually a lot of chemistry involved in this process, along with dwell time, how long it sits on the car. The product will eat away at all the dirtiness of the car, whether it's oils or dirts, by time. The product uses its strength to clean it right now. That's good.
Okay, now it's a rinse.
This is a high-pressure rinse. It'll actually do about 1,800 pounds of pressure on one side on this high-pressure rinse. Go down the driver's side, and then it picks up in the back and comes up the passenger side to high-pressure rinse off after the 2 pre-soaks. This is our famous tricolor foam. It's by Blue Coral. It's a really good product. It's fun. The kids love it. It smells really good. It actually serves as a nice polish. When you're inside the car, when it rinses, you'll see the water, the way it swirls, and it actually creates a nice film, and it polishes the car. It'll give you a nice shine. And this is on our top package, number 1 and number 2. It's called tricolor foam. Right now, if you turn the fan on inside your car so it was blowing the fresh air into your car, you'd smell a really nice strawberry smell. People like that.
Okay, this tells you where to stop. Can you come up too far and be in trouble here if you come up an extra
There is a sign on the entrance on the driver's side. It tells you to pull forward. If you go in too far, it'll tell you to back up.
Okay.
On the passenger side, there's another sign, like a menu board, that lights up each step as it goes across the step. It tells you what's happening. Now we're giving it a rinse with clear coat sealant. It's another additive that really helps stop rust. Will help give the car a nice shine.
Gordy's car is a different color than it was when it went in there.
Yeah, people are very impressed with the quality of the wash. I've had a lot of compliments with it. If it's a self-serve car wash, an automatic car wash, it's really a car wash for maintenance. If you don't wash your car, once every couple of weeks, if you're one of the guys that washes it every 3, 4, or 5 months, you're going to need to go into self-serve first and scrub off some of that heavy dirt and oil. But 98% of the cars, it does a tremendous job, and if you keep your car waxed a couple times a year, it'll do a wonderful job. Now he's going to pull out through the blowers. It just had the spot-free rinse. That was the pure water that I talked about with reverse osmosis. These dryers last 60 seconds. You drive out really slow, and the car turns out amazingly beautiful.
So there you have it.
Got a timer right here.
Yeah, right there. It tells them.
Now give the driver those 60 seconds, when he's got how much time he has left before it runs out.
Well, this is going to wrap up our look here, and I guess the results speak for themselves. As Gordy would like to say, who knows where we'll be next time for our little corner.
Have a clean car, you don't have to get out of your car, and it's a 24-hour operation, so I've had a lot of compliments with